My name is Michel, and I'm 30 years old now. I was born in the 1987 Guatemala City, and I was adopted to Sweden, Stockholm. I've got two kids, and right now I'm studying to become a engineer.
Now, just for a moment, I want you to introduce yourself in Swedish, just so that my friends and people
Yes.
here can just hear that cultural phenomenon that I'm experiencing.
Så jag heter Michel Bylund och är 30 år, bor i Stockholm och jag blev adopterad när jag var 3 månader hit till Sverige och jag har alltid vetat det och nu så har jag 2 barn själv som inte är adopterade och lever i Farsta, Stockholm. Försöker leva ett vanligt familjesvenssonliv men beslutar att ta kontakt med min bror och det gick ju bra som ni ser.
Did you always know of my existence, or was there a point in which you discovered it?
Oh, I have always known. And my mom, she told me. Always been a thing I have had in the back of my head.
Was there a certain point when you actively began seeking information?
Yes, actually, when I was in my early 20s, I felt a need for looking you up and start a new relationship in my life. This was before I had my kids, and I asked my mom, and she told me she actually had some information about you, and from there, this story began. Finding my brother now, contra 10 years ago, would it be any different for me or you? 10 years ago, I was 20 years old, so that is a kid actually, and I was a whole different person. The important things in my life were different, and yes, I didn't know myself then either, so it would be crazy. We met each other and partying instead of got to know each other as you supposed to, I guess. So that would be the biggest difference.
When I went to Guatemala when I was 19 years old, find our biological mother, I did receive your name, picture, I think, an address here in Sweden, but I was backpacking and I was young and I lost it. Was there ever a point which you wanted to find our biological mother?
Actually, no, it hadn't been my priority at all. And I can't exactly tell you why, but for me, my priority were to find my brother because I know I had information and I actually know where to find you and that you existed. Maybe it was also easier for me to reach for that. As I said, since I was a little kid, I have always known that I had a brother, and there was always a presence almost. I knew it, but it was like a fairy tale almost. And my mother would tell me, I would ask, and she would say the same answer every time. You have a brother. He's 1 year older, and he's living in the U.S. and that's it. And I embraced that, and I thought it was a great story, and I loved it. But I didn't do much about it or think much more about it than that. It stopped there. So when I got older, I would say like 25 to 27, I got to think more about it. And because I'm the only child, and my mother adopted me by herself to Sweden, so I don't have any siblings at all. And no father for that matter either, in that sense. So I think it's always been something that was like missing in my life and I was interested in. So when I got to my 27 years old, I thought about, I'm going to do this. I'm going to find more information and tracing it back and look what it gets me. So I started to ask my mother, and she told me she had some old information about Samuel that was laying around somewhere, and she helped me try to find this information, but she didn't. She had lost it, she said, somehow. And that's it, I thought. So I forgot about that, and probably 3-4 years later she found it again. She found the note with the information on it, and she called me up and said, I found the information about your brother, you should come right now. And I said, I thought to myself, okay, this again. am I ready for this? No, I don't know. Yeah, but either way, I got there and I got the information, and it was old. So, but I had a starting point, and from there, with social media, internet, and everything, I started to dig, and I typed in the address and the name I've gotten, and actually the name was Paul. That is your brother and also your father, and they're both named Willoughby in as this a surname. So uh, I got so much information, and I started to look into this, and I'm starting to like sorted things out, and finally I got like I think it was a contract on the house or the property of your father, I guess. So yeah, I started from there, and then I got on the Facebook, and I found you, but you had a different. You have changed your last name. I didn't know at the time that this was like an artist name for your acts and plays.
He's talking about Samuel Willoughby.
Yes, that's what it. And that was hard for me because I had the Willoughby name, and because you had the other name on the Facebook, it was it didn't get through right away. Okay, yeah. So I got that. I sent him a message. I sent you a message, but as you know, the Facebook don't allow like people from that you don't know to send you messages if you don't have any connections, and it's certain. That's the way it is. So you didn't got that, I think. So I got on the I don't know. I got some kind of link to YouTube. Then I saw his act, his theater act.
This is from Portland Story Theater. On when I went to Guatemala when I was 19, and I came back and was working on my own personal identity and relationship to my mother and Guatemala.
And from there I got the Instagram, and Instagram allows you to send messages. A short message for you to like. First of all, believe me who I am when I say yes, I'm your brother from Guatemala. Yeah, okay, you have an act, so that's information that people would know. So and I had this picture of our mother, a biological mother, Maria Ramos, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, and so I sent that, and I did a short like message where I said, "I'm your brother from Guatemala. Believe it or not, I want to contact you." I sent you some information. I can't remember, but
actually, I have the message here. It says, "Hello, Samuel. My name is Michel. You don't know me, but I'm going to get straight to the point.
Yes,
I'm your biological brother. I don't know if you are aware that you even had one, and I also understand that it can be choking to hear.
Shocking issue, yeah.
Shocking.
Yes.
I gotta put my glasses on.
Maybe it's my English is not.
It can be shocking to hear from me. I know I was just now to find you here. I always knew that I had a biological brother, and have in later years tried to get some information on where to start. Suddenly, my mother in Sweden, where I live, came on the street address on your mother's name, Carol. Also, after a little searching online, I found you. I don't know if you want to continue this conversation at all, so I will stop right here and wait for your response." And then he sends me the picture of my biological mother
and me
and him as a child.
Yes.
And this is when I was working in the therapy in the Utah desert, so I was gone for 8 days. So he probably sent this, and I did not receive it until I got back. And I didn't even have my computer at the time, so I actually read your message at a Best Buy in St. George, Utah. And so I wrote back, "Jesus fucking Christ, fuck yes, I want to continue this conversation." And then we just continued talking back and forth, giving each other information.
Yes. I will also say that during this time that you didn't answer, I watched the YouTube clip, and it was so like, because I couldn't be sure that this was my brother, it was you. But it's so crazy that this play or this act of yours were actually you doing a monologue of yourself and the fact that you are adopted from Guatemala and feeling strange about it then and now. And yeah, it was so like overwhelming because this was proof of exactly what I've been seeking. So this was you. This wasn't anybody else. This was you. And yeah, so the moving the video. I have video of you also. So you know, not just a name, not just a picture. It was an actual moving fucking video. So that was overwhelming. I got thrilled about that, and you know, so it was more than I was hoping for, of course.